Margaret Council, I move the government counter motion, and I welcome the opportunity here this evening to set out the government action and what we're doing to address the challenges in the rental sector to help those who may be experiencing homelessness and to accelerate the supply of social, affordable, cost rental and private housing. And I'm glad we've had input from Sinn Féin here this evening. We had priority questions last Thursday morning, and only Deputy Gould was the only one who put a housing question that morning to me. But to listen to colleagues across the House for the past half an hour or so, you would be forgiven for thinking that no progress at all is being made in housing in Ireland. And I want to take this opportunity, Cathaoirleach, to inform the House of the key areas of progress under the Government's Housing for All plan, which is backed by more than €4 billion per annum in state investment. That home permissions, completions, home purchases, Deputy, first-time buyers and mortgage drawdowns are all at record levels. There was an annual increase of 37.8% in the total number of new homes approved for planning permissions in Q1 2023 compared with the previous year, Q1 22. There were three... I didn't interrupt you once, Owen, just try to behave yourself today for once. There were 3,059 homes commenced in May 2023, an increase of 11.4% over the same period. And since January, nearly 13,000 new homes have been commenced, which is the highest ever for this period. 6,716 new homes were completed in the first 3 months of this year, a near 20% increase on Q1 last year. And they're the highest Q1 figures since that data series began. And nearly 31,000 new homes have been completed in the last 12 months. Indisputable facts. The number of homes purchased by all buyer types has gone from a low of just 25,699 in 2011 to over 52,600 last year. And first-time buyers remain the single largest segment by volume, with more than 25,000 drawdowns in 2022. Many of them accessing the schemes that we've brought forward as a government. More home mortgages were approved for first-time buyers in May of this year than in any other month since 2011. Social and affordable housing supply is increasing, whether the deputies opposite want to acknowledge that or not. 10,263 social homes were delivered in 2022, representing a 12% increase on 21, the highest annual output of social homes in decades and the highest level of delivery of new build social homes since 90. Owen, it's a pity you weren't here to ask questions last week, and most of your colleagues weren't either. Please afford me the opportunity of responding to your motion. A strong pipeline of social and affordable housing is now in place. Over 19,000 new build social homes in the pipeline.
And delivered so far this year. Please, it's a simple question.
Please, Ciara, it's impossible to respond to every.
Please, hold a minute. And he couldn't answer the question.
Please. Look, the Minister has the floor.
During Q1 of this year, 1,454 adults as well as children exited or were prevented from entering emergency accommodation by way of a tenancy being created, a year-on-year increase of 15%. Ciara, there's no point in me responding.
No, please, 1 minute. Please, look, the Minister has the floor. I'm trying to be fair. Everyone will get a chance. But
yes, Chair,
please.
Apologies.
Thank you. Minister, carry on.
From a standing start last year, Deputy, 1,757 affordable homes were delivered in 2022, the first full year of affordable housing delivery in a generation. 1,345 local authority cost rental units across 7 projects have been approved for funding of almost 200 million, with more being delivered via the LDA. Approximately 2,540 affordable purchase homes through local authorities have been approved by the Affordable Housing Fund of over €187 million across 18 local authority areas, and more to follow, and more being approved every single week.
Every target missed.
Please.
It's a fact, Minister.
Please.
Have some respect for the Chamber if you don't have respect for me or the government. Allow me to respond to your motion.
Please.
You bring forward no policies, no new policies, one housing bill in 2 years.
How many social homes?
And you didn't even show up last week to ask questions.
Simple questions.
So, 238,000 tenants have availed of the renters' tax credit that this government brought forward, worth €1,000 in 2023. 40,000 individuals and families have availed of the Help to Buy grant, which helps them purchase their own home. These are very positive highlights, and leaving them aside, we will never be complacent about the challenges that we face, and I have never and will never underestimate the work that I and this government has to do. At every turn, we've been agile, we've innovated in our response to the crisis that we face, and we need to be. We have greatly expanded the tenant in situ scheme, meaning local authorities can buy properties where tenants are facing eviction when the landlord is selling the property. And contrary to what the deputy opposite might say, the scheme is working very well, with 2,412 acquisitions at various stages, including assessment, conveyancing and completed purchases. Does the deputy accept that the process between sale agreed and finalised sale does not happen in one day? There's a conveyancing process to go through. Less than 3 months ago, we announced an expansion to the vacant derelict property grant. We increased the rates by 20,000. We broadened the eligibility criteria for homes built before 2007. And we included properties which would be made available on the long-term rental market. The grant has been extremely popular, with nearly 3,000 applications received by local authorities and over 1,000 approved. And Deputy, I think you can answer the question as well. Why do you want to scrap this grant? Why do you not want to bring vacant homes back into use? What's wrong?
We just want to design it properly.
What's wrong with giving? What is wrong with giving grants to people to refurbish vacant derelict homes?
Please.
But the main opposition party want to scrap that scheme. You want to scrap the Help to Buy grant. So we've continued to support the First Home scheme recently, expanding the scheme further, and also opening the door. It is not an it's impossible to respond with repeated interruptions.
Look, the Minister...
I've been very polite in my heckling.
Yeah, but please, let him go there. Please,
hasn't made any sense.
The interruptions, please. Minister, will you speak to the Chair and don't be encouraging?
Certainly.
Please.
I'll do my level best. We have continued to support home ownership through the Help to Buy grant. Nearly 40,000 households supported. And do you or your colleagues, when someone comes into your constituency office, do you advise them of the Help to Buy grant? You tell them they shouldn't get the tax that they've paid back in their pocket to help them with their deposit? And Sinn Féin have been on record saying is that you will scrap that support that has helped 40,000 households purchase their own home. Furthermore, when the government brings forward a scheme that's working right now to bridge the gap between the finance someone has and the finance that they need a household to buy their own home, many of whom are renters, the First Home scheme, not as you predicted, Deputy O'Brien, a second mortgage, nothing like it, and you know that. An equity stake, nearly 5,000 customers have registered with the First Home scheme, and the number of approvals is 1,983. So what do you say? What do you say to your constituents, Deputy, who ask you about support to own their own home? Do you tell them you're going to abolish that scheme? Do you tell them you're going to abolish the Help to Buy grant? Do you tell them you're going to abolish the vacancy grant? We have put in place protections for renters also, from increased notice to quit periods to a 2% permissible rent increase in the RPZs. We have had to delicately balance the rights of renters and the rights of property owners so as not to shrink the rental market any further and to reduce the supply.
Every year since 2017 it's shrinking. What alternate university?
Your behaviour this evening is outrageous, even by your standards. The party opposite want to take a sledgehammer to that and cause a further flight of landlords from the market, which will make the situation even worse. But be in no doubt, the availability of rental accommodation, as well as the increase in homelessness, are of serious concern to me and this government. And that's why every action we take is to increase the supply of homes, both social, private, affordable, and to prevent entries into and ensure exit from emergency accommodation. All of the data points to a significant increase in supply. To go from delivery of just 20,000 new homes in 2021 to practically 30,000 in 2022 is significant by any yardstick. I'm travelling all around the country on a weekly basis, Deputy. I'm meeting families who are getting the keys of their homes. Just yesterday in Limerick, Just yesterday in Limerick, I had the pleasure of opening 261 new homes in Limerick. That's 261 families and individuals who have the keys to their forever homes because of Housing for All and what this government is doing. 10,263 families last year got new social homes. I met families who told me what it meant to them, and that's what matters to me, that it was their dream come true and a new start for them. And I quote them on that. This is progress. This is progress, Deputy. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, because it simply does not.
Highest levels of homelessness in modern history.
It simply doesn't suit your own narrative or your agenda, because you don't want to see progress in housing, Deputy. You vote against every measure on home ownership. You continue to oppose schemes right across the country. Oscar Traynor Road, which we're now able to start, your party opposed for years and years and years. I commend the counter motion to the House.
Thank you, Minister.